Enjoying secrets of a sugar daddy? How about a little something extra? Here's today's dose of extra sugar with Marcus.
Hey, this is Marcus, and welcome to this segment of Extra Sugar. I'll tell you what, the party is coming quickly. In about 2.5 weeks, we're going to be welcoming a whole bunch of sugar daddies and sugar babies to Phoenix, Arizona, and we're going to have a great weekend. Now, if you did apply to the party and you haven't been selected yet, we're going to keep your application. We might need some alternates at the last minute. Some people, usually when we get this many people, there's a few cancellations. So don't give up hope, and we will keep your application for our next party. And we sincerely thank you for applying. We just ran out of room, and we had more applicants than we had room for. But we will keep your application, and if you didn't get chosen this time, you'll actually be put ahead of the line next time, especially if you're a Patreon member. Now, if you haven't joined our Patreon yet, guys, go try it out. I have a free subscription, and I do post quite a bit of free material on there. And then we have some tiers starting at only $10 a month, and you'll get to open up the entire site. And then we have some other tiers that include coaching and profile reviews, which people are taking advantage of, and we enjoy doing that for people. We want you to be successful. And by joining our Patreon group, not only do you help support the show, but you get to communicate and share ideas and questions and good times with other people in the lifestyle from all over the country, actually all over the world. You're going to get to meet so many people virtually, and then eventually maybe even in person on our Patreon group. So go have a lot of fun with it. Try it out. And if you do sign up for one of our tiers and you think it's not for you, just let me know. I'll be happy to refund your money. So it's a no-risk trial of our Patreon, but I know you're going to enjoy it because we have a lot of great content there. You get to hear all the episodes before anybody else. We post exclusive photos, behind the scenes, and information that's not found anywhere else. So come join our family. Become a Patreon member today. I got a link to it at the bottom of this podcast description. It's also on our website, and it's easy to find. It's patreon.com/Secrets of a Sugar Daddy podcast. Okay, today's Extra Sugar. This was an interesting one because this sugar baby has kind of found that she is preferring short-term arrangements. Now, when I say short-term, I'm not meaning one and done. She's talking about like 3 to 4 month arrangements. She feels like things kind of start fizzling from there, and she's just kind of ready to move on. So let's read this situation, and I've got a few comments on it along with some other people. All right, she writes, I have been on and off seeking and have experienced that the majority of these guys have seriously avoidant attachment styles. I came into this looking for long-term. When I message and go on dates, they say they want long-term, that they feel a good connection, and that they enjoy my company. However, after about 1 to 2 months, it seems to fizzle out. The rhythm is once a week, every week. They text me a ton. Intimacy is great, and we have super fun dates. I take down my profile, and suddenly the relationship ends. I feel annoyed about the promise of a long-term relationship being unfulfilled once it fades and falls off. Having a disorganized attachment style myself, I actually enjoy the relationship being so short. When I realize it's over, I feel excited and free from the anxiety of a real relationship. I think that the idea of long-term sugaring was appealing to me at first. All my friends who are in the lifestyle are in relationships that are years long. But maybe I am just not built for that or attracting that. I enjoy the company, the spoiling, the intelligent conversations, and the cuddling. I still crave the romantic-ish aspects, and I have a high libido. I like the validation I get from being a hot, fit girl in her 20s with an older, successful guy. I love seeing the guy's jaw drop when he sees me at dinner. I think I enjoy the love bombing. I love the first 3 dates the most, and I don't think the guy really benefits from knowing me deeper. I don't want to form the emotional attachment because then I start to feel clingy or grossed out at myself. In retrospect, a date each week might be too much for me. I feel like when the guy gets on my soft side and feels me getting attached, it's just a turn-off and we both get uncomfortable. I don't even think I can tolerate so much texting between the dates. I would just want to do 1 to 2 dates a month with texting to be about setting up the date and limit the arrangement to 3 months. After the time is up, we just agree to ghost each other. I don't want to do pure escorting, so I would want to avoid Johns. I always do a platonic meet and greet. I don't need to do back-to-back arrangements. I would enjoy my single life in between until I crave some closeness again. I want to create a new profile looking for fun, short flings with one guy at a time. I wanted to ask what the potential pitfalls of this may be. Would I run out of guys? I live in a large metro area. I see lots of attractive forever bachelors, and I'm kind of accepting that long-term relationships are pretty rare, even though so many people seem to be in one. Would this approach come off as jaded and cranky? I genuinely like having a fun time. If both parties can't handle commitment, would this be ideal? I am the type of girl who has given up on real dating. Would guys be receptive to this? If they enjoy the fantasy of looking for love or a long-term relationship, would this direct approach ruin that? Oh, wow. There is a lot to unpack from here, but I'm going to read a couple of comments, and then I definitely have a few of my own. All right, so a sugar daddy says, never say never. Defining a potential relationship is a recipe for failure. Let things happen organically. I look at every potential as a lifelong possibility. None have worked out that way, and I know the common denominator is me. That doesn't mean I only want short, hot, steamy relationships. Having to start over is such a drag. So many psychos, flakes, and cold-hearted people out there. I find it a chore if I came across a profile that said relationship was only going to last 3 months. I wouldn't want to waste my time. And then somebody also comments, well, the rhythm is once a week, every week. They text me a ton. This sounds a little more like a girlfriend experience than a general sugar baby, which is great, but I think because it's not said, the expectations around communication, you're falling into the girlfriend experience realm, and that may be why it's fizzling. Another sugar daddy says, I think one of the big mistakes is trying to define something especially too early on. It's great to aspire to something long-term, but either it happens or it doesn't. It's important to establish that the other person would be open to something longer if it went that way. But my view is to go with it as long as it works and is enjoyable for everyone. When it's not for you, move on. That may end fast or it may go for years. You never know till you jump in. And then finally, Sugar Daddy says, I don't see your approach as jaded or cranky. From what I've experienced in real life, this is how sugar arrangements play out. 3 months seems to be the typical shelf life. I have countless arrangements that ended around month 3 or 4, while I also have a handful of arrangements that lasted over 2 years. Meeting once or twice a month is pretty standard. I'm too busy to meet with her every week for sex. I have to do meet up for lunch or brunch. You don't sound abnormal to me. Sounds pretty normal. In 3 months, some women get a new boyfriend, get a new job, or hell, want to have more variety. I almost expect something to change between 3 to 6 months. Okay, my thoughts on this is that this is a pretty normal thing for people to go through. Even I've had multiple long-term arrangements. I'm talking 1.5 years, 2.5 years, 2 years, and things do get a little too comfortable and actually maybe a little boring after 3 to 6 months. But when you really, really enjoy that person, you work through that time, and there's ways to spice the relationship back up. I wouldn't just give up after 3 months. Everybody is different. Every situation is different. I wouldn't specifically set a time limit on how long I'm going to date somebody. You let it go, and when it plays out, it plays out. And usually, it's a mutually agreeable thing that when it's over, it's over. I've had many sugar babies who I've dated for like a year, and then we just kind of drifted away, yet we are still friends to this day. We didn't have this fiery blow up. It's just she ended up getting a boyfriend. I ended up going a different direction, and we keep in touch. And matter of fact, sometimes they'll reach back out and we'll get back together and do lunch and catch up like good old friends, and you never know when it can spark back up. So I think you're feeling some normal things. You're in your 20s, but just let things play out organically. Some are only going to last a very short time, and then you might find that some relationships last for years. But maybe you just haven't met the right sugar daddy or the sugar relationship yet, and you just seem to be in this cycle. But just have fun with it. No pressure, no attachment. Maybe the guys are putting a lot of pressure on the relationship. Maybe you are. But go in it, hey, let's have fun. At the end of the date, you go your way, I go mine. And let's do it again real soon. And then if you guys really, really enjoy each other and have good chemistry and vibe, it'll go as long as it goes. You just never know. That's what's fun about sugar dating. And the other great thing is we usually always end as friends. And, if you see them out or you see them on social media, you didn't have this fiery end to the relationship, which I've actually been surprised about that part of it and enjoying that part of it. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's Extra Sugar, and look for a new episode on Tuesday. We have a good one. It is an old friend of ours. Actually, it's two old friends of the show, Kevin and Vivian, and we discuss some very important things health-wise about sugar dating that you actually may encounter. So it's a super important show. It's full of laughs, and then it's also full of serious, important information. But I think you're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. So tune in on Tuesday for a new episode. And then, like I said, the party's coming up, so start looking for sound bites from that. We're going to record some great things from the party and have a few episodes and extra sugars that we record that weekend and tell you all about it. And we'll be posting lots of pics on our Patreon group. So come over there, sign up at least for the free membership, but we'd love to have you as a VIP supporter of the show. Okay, until next time, bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed your Extra Sugar with Marcus. As always, visit our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com, to comment or tell us your story.